Hardy, what are you doing down here, little one? You're not supposed to be here. What up? What up? I'm on two YouTube channels at the same time, and I got a little child running down here who's absolutely plotting to interrupt this show. What's up, little dude? You're supposed to be upstairs cleaning with your brothers. Before, okay, we'll go lay on the couch. That's not a bed. You are totally ruining my show. Is that your job? Go upstairs and lay on the couch, man. You're not actually ruining the show. You're probably actually more entertaining than I am. Go lay on the couch. I love you. I love you. Love you too. What's up, people? Two different YouTube channels at the same time. We've got the BryantChambers movement right here. Who's the first person to comment on the BryantChambers movement? It's I can't see your name. Says hi. Oh, it's why are you wasting your time reading something or other? And we'll see who the first commenter is over on Clients Incoming, my marketing channel. Wanted to include them in the New Year's cheer today. Lots more people on the movement channel, but what's up? Clients Incoming, folks, former Alloy 7 channel. Let's go ahead and mute this thing on actual YouTube because, actually, I may have these two things reversed. I'm not 100% sure. Or am I broadcasting on the same channel at the same time? I think I just confused myself and I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore. It's like a parallel universe of sorts. Moonlight says, hi, Brian. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Moon. How are you? Let's pop out the chat so we can just focus on that. Let's see who all has said hello. Hopefully everybody's had a good wrap up to your 2017. I'm really excited about 2018. A lot has happened this year, a lot of things to reflect on. I was with my family a little bit earlier tonight, spent a little time with them, just reminiscing, and I said the words, man, it's been a great year. And most of my family was like, you sure about that, homeboy? Let's see. We lost our dad. I had a son that needed major surgery who also had a seizure and turned blue on me almost a year ago, but it was, I think, in January of this year, right around his birthday. It was crazy. But what I meant when I said it's been a great year is not that everything's going my way. It's that I've developed stronger mindsets for success and found stronger motivations to do the things that I know I'm created to do. And that's really powerful for me. And, unfortunately, a lot of that motivation comes from very sad, traumatic things, but I look at those sad, traumatic things as a means to motivate me to do what has to be done. We talk about the book here a lot. I don't think it's on my shelf. I think it's actually in my bedroom, called The Obstacle is the Way. And that was a book that I had read this year from Ryan Holiday. And have had some online interactions with him, the author, just thanking him for how the book really got me focused on something that I already believed in and was starting to study, which is the Stoic philosophy of the ancient Greeks. You find a lot of Stoic philosophy, being inspired by Old Testament Bible teachings all the way back even further than that. And it's just, that book helped me through a lot of dark times this year. Because don't get me wrong, there was a lot of sadness that happened this year. But wanted to use this as an opportunity, as always, to do some Q&A with all of you here on the BryantChambers movement. And so, just so everybody understands, because I broadcast in all of these different places and have all of these different discussions, the theme of all of this is still the same. Whether I'm helping clients, grow social media, make sales, grow their client base, use social media to build and grow their businesses, which is what I do over here on Clients Incoming, or I'm helping you take command of your life over here on the BryantChambers movement. Understand that they all have the same end goal, which is at the end of us working together, which hopefully there is no end, we continue to work together, your life gets perpetually better, whether it's your business life, or maybe you're running a personal brand, which is what most people following me on YouTube are. At the end of the day, I want to help you do that better so that your life gets better as a result, right? So you getting more followers or making more money from managing your YouTube or your Facebook or your Instagram or your LinkedIn better, right? We've helped people through our different programs, whether it's free content that I make on YouTube or Facebook, or whether it's content that I make in some of the paid programs we've had. We've helped people explode YouTube channels. We've helped people figure out what they want to do with their life, which is a blessing. And one of those people in particular thought they wanted to be a YouTuber, and then after being in a program with me, they realized, no, I really want to be a philanthropist. I want to be out there actually helping people with education, and YouTube's not the right platform for that. And I'm like, sweet, right? We help people do that. We help people get jobs in social media, giving people, self-knowledge and strength to go out and get other types of IT-related jobs. So we've been able to impact lives in a very positive way, which is what everything that I've ever done, even when this marketing channel was an entertainment channel, the focus was always the same. That's kind of why I got away from just doing straight entertainment, was I didn't get the same results. Like, people, when they want to be entertained, don't necessarily want to be inspired or motivated. They just kind of want to veg out. And that's cool, but what I wanted to create was an environment where you could be entertained, but you could also be inspired and motivated to go make the world a better place. So understand that even though I broadcast in a lot of different places with different hats on, when I do it, it's all for the same purpose, which is to help you take command of your life or your business or your personal brand and make life better for you and the people around you. It's that simple. Okay, so just know that, so that there's no confusion when I'm talking about marketing stuff over here, or I'm talking about life strategy over here, or I mix the two. A lot of people that follow me over here or on my mailing list, sometimes they see some of the life strategy stuff I do and they're confused. Like, wait a minute, didn't I sign up for marketing stuff? Like, yeah. But if I make you a stronger human being, you'll also be a stronger marketer. Right, so that's the deal. Let's get into some of the comments, man. It's good to see everybody here on Clients Incoming, formerly Alloy 7. Good to see everybody on the BryantChambers movement. Let's see. Why are you wasting your time reading this dumbass? That's actually their username. Says hi. Hello. There should be an acronym for that, by the way. Kimberly Kristen says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Gary Daniel says, I low you. I low you too, man. Low you too, Gary. Moonlight says, hey, Bryant, Happy New Year. What's up? Moonlight, better known as Loose. Good to see you. Jaden says, hey, this is my friend's account, and he's INFP, and I'm ENFP. How can I find the one? There is no the one. That's how you can find them. You can first come to grips with the fact that there is no the one. There's almost 8 billion people on the planet. There's probably at least 100,000 the ones. The best way you can find somebody that's going to work right for you is to develop yourself, is to understand who you are at your core. Beyond. CJ says, yo, what's up, CJ? It's going beyond your personality type. I'm reading a really powerful book on personality now. Stand by, everybody. Hey, guys. Why is the baby crying? Okay, why don't you take him upstairs, put him in his bed, because it's way past his bedtime. Thank you. This is what you have to do when you run a business out of your house and you have small children. This is all day, every day. Now you guys understand why I film so much in the woods. It's funny, too. People get mad because I film in my car. I wonder if those people think that I'm like holding my camera, like holding my phone like a selfie, and that I don't have equipment set up in the car to film like a TV show. That's the funny thing. And it's weird too, because people are like, you're not paying attention to the road. I'm like, yeah, I am actually. This is no different than me having a conversation if there was a passenger in my car. It's the same exact thing, except in this case, the passenger is sitting in a place where I can see the rest of the road. It's always funny to watch people get butthurt about things that are so insane. You're putting people's lives at risk. Like, actually, I'm not really, because I have a rig in here that, one, me talking is no different than me having a conversation with a passenger in the car. By the way, I drove my mother-in-law to my mother's house for New Year's tonight, and I talked to her the whole ride. It's no different. And the difference is, if I look over at her while I'm driving, she's over here. The camera rig is actually underneath where I look out here. I'm a very strong defensive driver, so I'm always scanning. And so, like, sometimes when I look at the camera, it's because I'm scanning the road. But anyway, I forgot I was talking about it because I got off on that tangent. But yeah, it's not about finding the one. It's about you really coming to grips with yourself, and it's not about your type, okay? Reading a powerful book on personality right now, where a lot of the study that's been going on for the last, is actually started back in the 1930s. But instead of trying to type people, it's measuring facets of your personality, measuring traits, and these are all to the point that I've gotten to in the book. They've used a lot of statistical math to basically boil people down into similar categories or traits that we all humans have, regardless of what language we speak. And they've come up with it. Basically, it's the foundation of the Hexaco test, if you wonder what I'm beating around the bush at. And why are you sneaking around like I can't see and hear you?
Oh, I was just
You were
getting
just
one.
going to come down here and play loud video games while I'm filming?
No, I just wanted to get one thing.
Go ahead. I don't know why you think sneaking is going to help not interrupt my show because you're silly. Go ahead and get what you need, man. It's fine.
Got
Okay. You're all set now?
it. Yep.
Don't have to do terrible sneaking like a broke ninja.
Yeah, because I think you're gonna yell at me.
I'm not. When have I ever yelled at you?
Never.
Right, never. Because I don't yell at people. That's belittling. Now, I make you do push ups when you're silly, but that's to make you strong, not to punish you. Got it?
Got it.
All right, love you. Move out. All day. By the way, so what I was saying is this is why I film outside. Because children. That's why. But the point is, very powerful book on our personality traits and how we stack up against the rest of humanity that's been tested. And I think it's really powerful. And that's why a lot of my content, when we start talking about updates to channels over on the BryantChambers movement, you're going to see starting tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is going to be the next step in the 69 pillars, the next pillar in the 69 pillars of success. Which, by the way, guys, if you're just watching 69 Pillars on YouTube, you're only getting part of the experience. You should head over to my website, 69 Pillars, BryantChambers.com/69pillars, and actually sign up on the website. It's free for now. It probably won't be free forever, but it's going to be free. Basically, I want to make it free until I get as many military and law enforcement veterans in the program as possible, because I don't want them to have to pay for it. And I don't want you all to have to pay for it that are my regular patrons here on the YouTube space. But eventually, because fair is fair, when you put hundreds of hours into a project that you take time away from your family, there's nothing wrong with charging people money if it's good and it actually helps them and you charge a fair price. But for now, completely free. Definitely BryantChambers.com, and for those of you on my marketing side too, you should check it out. It's a free program, and it'll help those of you who, let's say, you didn't get into my social media ninja academy, which was crazy. I have no idea why. And we had a lot of people join right before the Christmas sale ended, but it should have been we probably should have had 10 times the amount of people join. And what I'm finding, when you work with, the more successful the people you work with are, the less cynical and the less skeptical they are. The more optimistic they are, the more positive they are. And so it's not to say that all you watching me are not successful, but I can usually gauge a person's level of success by the way they comment on, like, if they leave me a nasty comment about something, and I get that some of that cynicism is on me, like I should have worked to dispel that. But for those of you who aren't in those programs, you can get into some of my free stuff and see how I coach, how I work, see if it works for you, see if it's something that you want to be a part of going forward. But definitely tomorrow we're going to have the next pillar in the 69 pillars. I think it's pillar 14 or 15. I can't remember which one it is. And I have my chat up pulled up over here on the screen, so I can't look it up. But it's going to be a good one tomorrow. I'm trying to remember the topic for tomorrow's 69 pillars. Well, I can't remember it. I was going to film a bunch of 69 pillar videos today too, but it was too cold outside. After I finished what should be the last INFJ video, at least for a while, I had to come inside. Plus my phone was dying and it was freezing outside. But the wanting to move in 2018 for the life strategy coaching channel, I'm going to start moving more into the Hexaco test, especially after this book that I'm reading, which is, whew, it's legit. And it's basically how the Hexaco test was made over decades of study that have been going on from really smart people that wanted to get out of this, at least my impression from what I've read so far. And I'll definitely have it up on my Instagram as a book review so you guys can see. You know, I've basically made my Instagram my book list. People always ask me, what books are you reading? We see your bookshelf, but we don't see everything on it. You highlight certain books at different times. Uh, and so uh, what should we be reading? And so Instagram is a way where I can say, here's exactly what I'm reading this week. And sometimes it's stuff I've read, like today's book was the Lessons of History. That's a book I go back to over and over and over again over the course of a year because it's that powerful. But this person, and the only reason I'm not saying the name of the book is because I forgot the name of it. And I don't have it in front of me. It's actually my bathroom book. Like I have a book that I keep by my bed that's usually a biography or an autobiography. I have my bathroom reading, which is usually more technical and engaged because it's something that can keep my attention. So I'm not tempted to sit there and just play on my phone. And then I have books that I read throughout the day that I carry with me in my backpack, which I also don't have with me. But just looking at how the Hexaco test was made and how it's getting out of this business of something that I find flawed with the Myers-Briggs, with this, we're going to typecast people and say, because you're an INFJ, you have these four functions and this is your life. Just don't think that's accurate, really, or fair. It's like trying to say, oh, you're a Pisces. That means you're like, really? Like you have one trait that's true on this thing. And yeah, so I try to get away from typecasting people. Even with the videos that I make, sometimes I think they come across as typecasting. But working to avoid that, which is why on Tuesday we're going to start having more hexacode-driven content. And that I'm looking forward to doing way more hexacode content than Myers-Briggs content because I think the Myers-Briggs stuff has kind of run its course. I know YouTube would very much love it if I keep making Myers-Briggs content. We'll see. You know, I know the audience likes it a lot too, so we'll see. But Hexaco, I think, is frankly just a better test and a better way to do self-discovery because it gives you something that you can work on instead of just saying, you're this, that means your life's going to be awesome, or you're this, that means your life's going to suck, and all these deductive reasonings we try to do. Oh, because you're an ESTJ, you're 40% more likely to enjoy your career. Like, that's hogwash, man. Like, we interviewed 500 people, and that's how we came up with this idea. It's like, come on, enough. People always ask me, like, have you seen any studies on there being a correlation between INFPs and depression? No. I have yet to see any reputable studies. The only reputable studies I've seen for Myers-Briggs stuff are that the test is whack. And not whack, but it's not optimal for what people are using it for. I think it's great for helping you understand how your mind processes information and how you make decisions, but trying to tell you that you're destined to be an artist because you're an INFP, it's just not fair. And I think that pigeonholes people in a way that they start believing it and then living that out. Maybe you were supposed to be an open heart surgeon. You know? It just depends. So going forward, the 69 pillars will continue. More Hexaco content's on the way. I just filmed a new, which is it's actually a hilarious episode because it was all kinds of craziness happening around me between one of my sons yelling on camera, the other one trying to film, but his arm's getting tired, so I had to take over. Big softy. If you're watching this, yes, I just called you a big softy. But he knows, I mean, he knows I love him. But, and then things were going on around us that just were not repeating out loud. I'm just like, okay, cool. But that's going to be for the, what's that show called? Breaking Down Proverbs. Taking wise sayings from the past and present and talking about how we can apply that wisdom to our lives today. For those of you on the Clients Incoming channel, rest assured, I haven't forgotten about you all. One of the reasons why I'm streaming tonight is to let you know that going forward, hopefully this week, excuse me, indigestion, on Thursdays at 9 p.m., I'll be doing a weekly live call with all of you to talk about marketing, how to build better social media and digital marketing around your business or your personal brand. I know probably the majority of you that follow me here are personal brand folks, whether you're gamers or musicians or entertainers. That's kind of the audience that I attracted. Totally cool. But I work with a lot of businesses too, and people who are looking to make money from what they do on social media. So we'll be talking about that. One of the videos I know I'm going to shoot there is the video that's been circulating around the internet. I haven't made it public, but it's on different web pages of mine, talking about my specific exact social media strategy, the way that I actually make money from what I do online, not just YouTube, because believe me, YouTube is a piece of it, but YouTube, strangely enough, doesn't really drive the bulk or a ton of my revenue. It's a starting point, but a lot of times the people who find me may find me on YouTube, but then it's a relationship that builds over other platforms and time spent consuming other content. Uh, so I talk about my exact strategy, and this is actually being born out of something I do every couple of weeks in real life. I run a meetup in my local community where I get small businesses together, and I like to focus on small businesses because my heart really is for veteran-owned businesses. But realizing that there's not billions of them laying around, I also work with small businesses who are not veteran-owned, who need help. Like, look, we're making money, but we need to figure out the social media thing. You know, I've worked with a client who was spending the bulk of their advertising in radio, and that's okay if it's working, but you're not going to get good metrics from that the way you could some of the different social media platforms that are available to you. So I walk all of these people through my exact strategy on how I built my personal brand and my marketing brand, and how I sell things online. So that's something that'll definitely be interesting to you, even if you're just doing, I won't say just, even if you're doing music or entertainment or gaming. At some point, you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to figure out how to turn those laughs and those smiles into dollars if you want to be able to do that. A lot of different ways to get at it, but just want to put a bug in your ear for that. Let's take some more comments here. We've got Gary Daniel says Walgreens. Anna Anderson says positive things about 2017. Well, constipated expression. Anyway, what's up, Chambers? What up, Anna? Let's see. Constipated expression. That's the first time I've seen that on the internet. Gary Daniel says, I love you, but your hat reminds me of Walgreens so much. Walgreens. I love it, man. That's still one of my favorite comments on the internet. Why are you wearing an effing Walgreens hat? Are you the son of Walgreens? Oscar Hernandez says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Oscar. Karen says, Happy New Year. You've been very helpful to me, INFP. Thanks. It's my pleasure, Karen. Thank you for watching. Jaden says, Hey, this is Jaden now. My friend was asking because his ideal personality matches are the rarest types. Jaden says he has like a 3.8 chance of finding someone perfect. I mean, so there is no someone perfect. All the Myers-Briggs content you've seen about INF whatever should be dating ENT whatever's, kill it. Like, just don't even go down that road. I think that's one of the silliest things. People trying to use the freaking Myers-Briggs test as dating advice. And it's just like, because here's the deal, and I've even heard literal PhDs that I listen to and read talk about the silliness of even two people with the same personality type, if we want to get back into typing, one of them can lack maturity that the other one has. And the interesting thing about this new book that I'm reading about why the hexacode test is powerful is that it shows you how two people with similar scores on their tests can be completely different people in the way they behave and what is the factor that shapes this difference in behavior. And that's really the point of the book is you can take two ENTJs or whatever personality type you love or hate, put them right next to each other, and they can seem like completely opposite people because of things like maturity and agreeableness and all these other factors that the Myers-Briggs cannot measure. So this idea of I've got to find my perfect match. First of all, that doesn't exist. There's no perfect match. There's no such thing. You know, all these romantic ideas we have where we're going to try to mathematically deduce a relationship or a marriage is freaking hilarious. You want to mathematically deduce a marriage? Here you go. Read this. Stop using Myers-Briggs and read what actual doctors. This doctor says he can predict within 15 minutes of observing a married couple whether or not the marriage will last. Using science, not Star Wars personality tests. Sorry, not trying to crap on the Myers-Briggs, but let's use it for what it's actually decent for. And it is not great at helping people pick mates. Karen says, re-hexaco test. Did you actually answer all the questions about your religious background? And what is the relevance? Religious background. I don't remember there being a ton of religious background questions in there. Be more specific. Moonlight says, how many books do you read a month? Depends on the month. I usually read about 3 a week. So, 12, sometimes more, sometimes less. Sister Hipster says, I took the Hexaco test and I had problems with it. It really depends on the situation, and I kept doing neutral. I also am concerned about some issues, concerned about me finding a full-time job. So if you're middle of the road on everything, there's a couple things you need to wonder is, are you being 100% honest? And by the way, we have a tendency to want to answer the questions in the way we like to see ourselves versus how we really are. Like, I'd love to talk about how organized I am under conscientiousness, right? That's one of the factors. One of the domains is conscientiousness. I'd love to talk about how organized and clean I am. If I turn either one of these cameras around right now and let you see the part of the office that is off camera, you'd be like, nope. Of course I want to answer the question. Well, I'm kind of middle of the road. No, I actually kind of err on the side of messy. I just do. Now, I can be very organized and clean, as you can see in the clean space at my office, right? But, you know, if I have the chance to work on a new project or clean my office, I can guarantee you which one I'm going to do. So what I would say is really dig deep and be fully honest with yourself. And maybe part of it is you're still discovering who you really are, especially if you're really young. Right? You may not have everything figured out yet. Your personality traits may not be fully formed. Like that PhD that I was talking about in one of the talks he gave, one of the people in the room was 12. And he cautioned him. He's like, you know, before you write off this other person that's treating you bad, if they're 12, they're still developing. And now I assume you're not 12, but you may not be fully developed yet. So give it time. Let's see. Joshua says, what up, Mr. Bryant, my brother? Yeah. I think it's run its course too. I was thinking about that today, how you pushed out so much content on personality types, and was thinking maybe you were trying to go deep and kind of have that as your niche of expertise for YouTubers to look towards. So no, I don't really, I'm not trying to niche into being the personality type guy. I just get a lot of questions from people about personality types, and sometimes the easiest way for me to answer it is by making a video that helps the person who asked and other people. It just so happens that a lot of people have the same questions, because if you look at some of the videos I've made, they get like 300 views. Even those videos came from a question somebody asked me, and even though I knew niche-wise my YouTube wasn't going to promote that video, I didn't care. It was helpful to the person that asked the question and the 300 other people instead of the thousands of views that I get on other stuff. You know, or in some cases I get millions of views depending on what it is I'm making. Let's see. Jaden says, so Hexaco is better. I just feel good that there is more like me and I feel more understood, and the jobs I want are the ideal ones. INFP. Let's see. Joshua says, deep and kind of have that as your... Okay, sorry, I read that one already. Undeservingly blessed says, Happy New Year, bro. What's up? Happy New Year to you. This message is held for review. Okay, so there's a comment that just got shanked. Let me take a comment that just happened on my personal channel. It's not really going to matter much for you all, but I'm going to talk about it over here on my marketing channel. So I won't say their name because I'm not going to use this as an opportunity to make them feel bad or call them out. I want to help them, but I also want to help anybody that's watching me over here who hasn't, like if you're new, you old heads have heard me say this a million times. So blank says this, I really enjoy your content and I subbed and would like for you to check out my channel and maybe sub, as I do giveaways every time I gain 100 subs, and at 10,000 subs I'll give away a PS4. So either this is a bot, but if it's a real person, cut it. It's ridiculous. I'm imagining it's a bot, but that's basically for lack of a better way to do it, a punk move. Like you're gonna come on somebody's stream and say, "Hey, first of all, nobody wants to check out your channel. Let's get that marketing lesson out of the way. No one gives a crap about you, okay? Until you prove to them that you give 10 craps about them, they're never gonna give one crap about you. All the people that watch me, all the millions of people who've seen my stuff, do that because I've made stuff that cared more about them than they do about me. And then over time, because I kept showing up over and over and over again, they stick around and they check stuff out. Me saying, "Hey, yo, check out my channel. I do giveaways." Like, cut it. Like, that's such a played way to do your business. And nobody's checking out your channel when you do that nonsense, unless it's other people who are willing to do stupid stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you got a bunch of people not watching each other with just empty subs. Like, enough. So I'm going to assume that's a bot, but if it wasn't, hopefully the person that left that comment got something good out of it. And those of you on the marketing channel, lesson learned. Do not come on people's streams asking, "Check out my channel. I make cookies." Like, literally no one cares that you're giving away a PS4. They don't. Like, it's really, nobody cares. And there's by the way, if that were true, going back to marketing coaching, there's a much better way to do that using Facebook instead of YouTube. So you should stick around for more coaching videos. Moonlight says, "I thought the same about your hat. I'm glad I'm not the only one." So are people for real thinking this is Walgreens, or are you referring to a joke I made a couple years ago when someone literally yelled that at me, cussing at me about why am I wearing an effing Walgreens hat? Like, are people really not aware that this is the Washington Nationals and I'm from Washington, D.C.? Or is everybody on funny time tonight? Sometimes I have to ask because the internet's weird. And I know I have a sense of humor that doesn't always jive with the rest of the internet. And I gotta check. Nadia says, "Hey, Bryant, Happy New Year. You're awesome." You're awesome, Nadia. Belgian Dan, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. "Happy New Year to you, your loved ones, and everyone else." You too, Belgian Dan. Good to see you. Lots of people chiming in on Instagram tonight. Let's see what they're saying. Oh, they're just liking the post I made. Which post did I make tonight? Tonight was the lessons of history, right? Was tonight the lessons of history? I don't know. I got to check. Hold on. Hold on, YouTube. Calm down. Why am I yelling? I don't know. Why am I answering? Yes. Tonight was the lessons of history. Awesome. What time is it? Is it New Year's yet? 30 minutes. I'm probably not going to stay on here till New Year's because I'm going to go party with whichever one of my kids is still awake. So Moonlight says, "I'm not knowledgeable in MA sports." Not sure what MA means, but I'd take it. Cool. So Moonlight was not joking. She really thought Walgreens and not Washington Nationals baseball. Which, that means I have a lot of Walgreens hats. Just rock. Does Walgreens make hats? I feel like I need to get a Walgreens hat now. I think that needs to happen. Belgian Dan says, "Yelling is the best way to calm someone down." Sister Hipster says, "By the way, thanks for your reply and your content. I forgot to mention that." You're welcome. What did I reply to? Sister Hipster? Oh, you're talking about my reply to the Hexaco stuff. My bad. Right on, right on. So what other questions you guys have? First of all, thank you everybody for the New Year's shout outs, for the wishing my family well. I wish all of your families well as well. It's been a blessing to have you all around this year. Being able to serve you all has really kept me focused on the areas of my life that are positive. I've been through a lot of challenges this year with my dad passing away. You know, if you saw my Christmas video, which I'm assuming most of you didn't see my Christmas video based upon how many people follow me and the fact that only 200 people watched it. It was like, there's a punch in the gut. Made this heartfelt Christmas video for everybody. Now, granted, I get it. The thumbnail was at a graveyard, so maybe that was like, okay, this guy's crazy. Who sends a Merry Christmas video standing in a graveyard? But I was standing in Arlington National Cemetery with my father, so it was very... it was my first Christmas without my dad, and it was this kind of serene, sad, beautiful thing all at once. It's a really positive, powerful message, man. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of that. But the point is, Been through a lot, but I look at it as a great year because I've never ever been more motivated to help people take command of their lives and make the changes that are necessary to win and be happy at the end of everything. And we've really been doing it. Like, our Social Media Ninja Academy has never been better. For the people that were coaching in that program, we just had a crazy Christmas sale where literally, uh, like, the whole program is like $1,000. It's worth at least 10,000, but we try to keep it on the cheap side. It's $1,000. We let people. It's $1,000 for the program, just the lessons, and then I do monthly coaching, where I take a couple of hours and personally talk to people and actually talk, not like this where you're just listening and commenting, like we're having a conversation in a small group. And that's $15 a month. It was $15 a month, like a Netflix subscription. Um, and so I said, for Christmas, Merry Christmas to all the thousands of people that are connected to me. Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of charging you $1,000, I'm going to let you get straight into the VIP program, which is the monthly fee for the coaching, but give you the $10,000 program that costs $1,000 completely for free, just for joining the VIP program. And by the way, I'm cutting the VIP program it almost down to a third of what it actually costs. And I mean, cut it down by 2/3, right? And a lot of people jumped on board. I was blessed to see that, but a lot of people didn't. And it goes back to, the cynicism, and people always think people are like, can't tell you how many people email me like, you're trying to take advantage of people. I said, hold on, let me make sure I have this straight. I have a program that costs $1,000 that I know for a fact other people charge tens of thousands of dollars for, because I've been in the programs. And I'm taking a lot of the knowledge that I've gotten from all these smart entrepreneurs, and I've packaged it into something that's helped people literally go from 50 to tens of thousands of followers, from 400 to almost 100,000 subscribers and followers. Like, I'm helping people do all this stuff, helping people make money. Uh, and we give it to you for like Netflix prices. And it's like, you're trying to hurt people. It was just like, oh. And the funny thing is, that's typically American dudes. It's never women that do that. Women either just leave you alone, or they're like, oh, this sounds nice, but I'm not interested. Dudes always think there's some Illuminati, this is the black Hitlers trying to kill everyone. Like, it's insane to me. Um, and so we had that going on. We got a lot of people in, but we've been able to help a lot of people this year. And I've been so motivated to be able to do that for folks. In fact, when I did that discount, one of the people on my team wrote me, our community manager, who I don't think is here tonight. I haven't seen her. She wrote me an email like, I'm going to strangle you. What's wrong with you? Why are you giving this thing away? Like, you're basically giving this thing away to people when it's worth so much effing more than what you're doing. And I was like, well, because it's Christmas. And for real, like, if you want to know the real reason, I know my audience, that I know that part of my audience. It's not like they just have thousands of dollars sitting around waiting to take a course because they're young, or they maybe don't have the great job that they want to have yet that affords them a lot of necessary resources to do what they need to do. So it was like me trying to do them a solid, like, look, here's something to help you jumpstart your career, your social media, personal brand. If you're starting a business, it's going to help you do it. I've had people, young guys who are starting businesses, that are like, I need to figure out my social media, who've just joined for a couple months to learn from me and then moved on. So it's no longer $15 a month to join. It is now the full $1,000 program, and now the VIP price is back up to not its normal rate. I'm still keeping it somewhat discounted, at least for the time being. It's $37 a month instead of 15. And believe me, a company would pay me, just so you're aware, for the type of coaching that I do in this program. Companies would pay me hundreds of, like, just for the time I spend with them. Forget about the fact that I spend time with an entire group of people. Like, to come into their company and help them fix something with their social media, if I was coaching them, would pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do it. What I do for $15 a month. So, believe me, it's worth what you pay for. Did I miss a comment over here? I did. Guardian Soulblade says, I would have got in on it, but I didn't have the money. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, not everybody can afford to make that move. That's why I kept it so cheap. And I know that about my audience because I pay attention to them. It's good to see you, by the way, Guardian Soulblade. He said it must be a dude thing. It's totally a dude thing. Women are just better human beings. And I'm not saying that to be patronizing or like silly. I'm being dead serious. Like, the biggest problem on earth is men. Literally, we're killing everybody. Like, the biggest threat to women, men. The biggest threat to animals, men. The biggest threat to the environment, dudes. Period. It's just women are better human beings. To see, Dariel or Dariel, I don't want to mispronounce your name, says, hey bro, quick question. Do you know the rules with monetizing Fortnite gameplay? They're the same rules that have been in place for the last 5 years since I started talking about monetization. The rules have not changed. If you Google how to monetize gameplay footage, the YouTube policy will come up, and then a video from me will probably come up. And the rules haven't changed. So as long as you're adhering to those, you're good. But if the company takes issue with something that you've put up, you may have to fight for it. It's the way the system works. Let's see. Tu Huang says, hello, I'm from Vietnam. I love your videos on YouTube, BryantChambers. I find your videos always informative. Many thanks. Thank you, too. It's good to see you, brother. And, I'm calling you brother. All the people, all the friends I've had from Vietnam have never had this particular name. So I'm assuming that you're a brother. Let me look at your picture. Looks like a brother. But if you're a lady, forgive me. Nigel says, is there a topic for the questions night? Nope, just Happy New Year and hope everybody's doing well. Moonlight says, see you next year. Yay, can't wait to start my coaching program with you. Yes, Moonlight got into one of our other coaching programs, which is my one-on-one peak performance coaching. And this is focused on helping people lay the foundation for a successful life. So not just doing marketing and helping businesses grow, but actually helping the human soul figure out, okay, what is it I want my life to be? I help people define that, right? Basically mapping out your destiny and then equipping you with the foundational tools. Now, it's not the only thing you need to know, but it's a 4-week program that I use as kind of a launch pad to get people going in the right direction for their life. So many people come to me like, what should I do with my life? I'm this personality type. I hate this. My parents hate me. What do I do? I'm not even joking about that. Like, this is a recurring theme. And it's okay. Well, your personality type's your personality type. That's okay. But we need to we need to go deeper than just your Myers-Briggs test, right? We need to take some other tests, but we also need to do some internal soul searching. And I don't mean that in a hyper spiritual way, even though there's spiritual implications with it, but it's more how do I really dig down deep into who I am and draw out from that what I'm created to do? And then how do I actually go and do it? And how do I remove the resistance and the stumbling blocks and the obstacles that are in my way of achieving it? And usually those obstacles are ourselves. We have to learn how to overcome things like fear, right? That holds us back. So we have a 4-week program where I walk people through exactly how to do that. And Moon is going to be in that program with us for the January session, which, by the way, friends, on either side, but mostly for folks over here on the BryantChambers movement, we still have slots open because we had some people cancel, right? So if you still want to get in on that, hit me up. I'll show you how you can do it. And if you're in one of my other programs, there's a good chance that there is a discount associated with it for you. All right. Belgian Dan says Illuminati confirmed. Let's see. Ryuji says, hey, BC. What up, Ryuji? Matsuo Kenji. There's a person I haven't seen in forever. Good to see you. Happy New Year. What up? Guardian Soulblade says, I got paid in Bitcoin. It's weird. Got paid by whom in Bitcoin? But that's a good thing if you did. Damone says, hey, Brian. Many thanks so much for all the good content. I've been a sub for a couple of days now, and you've helped me a lot so far. I didn't know why I was the way I am. Now I do, so thank you. It's been an honor to serve you. Damone? I think, and by the way, friends, if I ever pronounce your name wrong, you have full right in the comments to correct me by phonetically spelling it out. Like, use sound effects. If I say your name wrong, correct me. And I mean that because I want to get your name right because I think that's showing respect. I'm constantly, like, I remember I met this guy that I worked with years ago, and he was from China, and he's like, "Hi," and I'm imitating how he sounded. I'm not saying this to be funny. This is how he talked. He's like, "Hi, my name Paul." I said, "Look, bruh, your name ain't Paul. That's what white people told you had to call yourself in front of other people. What's your real name? You are from China, and you're not even saying all the words in the sentence, so clearly Paul is not your name. And if it is, I stand corrected." And he's like, "No, my name is Jean." I said, "Right on." And he started to spell it. I said, "No, I know how to spell Jean. It starts with an X." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you know a little Chinese." I said, "Well, I know enough to respect you to pronounce your name right. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be Paul in front of me, bro. If we're going to work together, I'm going to call you by your name, not the white people are too lazy to figure out what your name is, so you got to be Paul if you want to sell things in business." And by the way, white people, I'm not picking on you because I'm a racist. I mean, look at my skin. I'm also part white, if that's even a thing. We make up race. It's not like it's a real thing. But people had told him his whole life, you get to America, you better come up with a name that Americans can pronounce because we're too effing lazy to say things properly and respect people's culture. So I probably should say American, not white people, because believe me, regardless of your skin color, that happens. I just think it's funny to say it that way. My writing paid me much more than YouTube ads this year. Has been great. Sweet. Glad to hear that, man. We accept Bitcoins too, brother. If you're talking about you ain't got the money and you want to get into a program, we'll work something out if you want to pay in Bitcoin. I am happy to work with you. We'll figure it out. All right, let's refresh the page here. All right. Looks like we're going to finish up early tonight. Listen, I really just wanted to use this as an opportunity to say thank you to all of you. For those of you on the marketing side, be on the lookout for the Thursday night calls to help you build your business, build your personal brand using not just YouTube. I think YouTube is a wonderful tool when used properly. I think a lot of people aren't using it properly and aren't using it to its strength. Um, I've got a couple of years in the game and coaching other people and watching them succeed to kind of know how that works. But we'll talk about the entire suite. And we'll have a lot of different people here because I'm inviting folks out. By the way, that will also broadcast. In fact, it's going to primarily broadcast on Facebook. So you definitely want to follow me on Facebook, BryantChambers page. It's on the top of all. I think actually if you're watching me over here on Clients Incoming, it's going to take you to my Clients Incoming page. But find my BryantChambers page. It's called BryantChambers page. And like and follow me there so we can stay connected. You can send me questions before shows so I can answer them there. Same thing goes for you guys on the BryantChambers movement side of the house. Feel free to send your preguntas, that's Spanish for questions, to me in the DM on Facebook. I appreciate all of you that send me questions on YouTube. Please send them on Facebook instead if you have the time. Simply because YouTube is going to, if you ask me a question a week in advance, there's a good chance I'm going to have to do some heavy digging to go find that question when it's time to answer it. Versus Facebook's going to organize it in like an email inbox that I can click through and organize. YouTube's not quite there yet. So, with that said, allow me to thank you for a wonderful 2017, giving me the opportunity to serve all of you once again. I hope you got something good out of tonight's discussion, if nothing other than me to wish you and your families and your friends well. Really looking forward to 2018 on the marketing side, helping you again build your business and your personal brand. If you missed the opportunity, and even if you're watching this after it's live, let's talk to the social media folks. If you missed the opportunity to get into the Social Media Ninja Academy at the discounted rate, and that was basically $1,000 off. Like basically the people who got into the program, I think the way I did the math, they would have to be in the program for 600 months to pay what the program is worth. Okay? That's how we roll. If you missed the deal for whatever reason, you don't like to check your email, you were dragging your feet, shoot me an email. You guys know how to find me. Or shoot me a DM. Let's talk about it. Talk to me about your situation. maybe we can work something out that helps you. I don't want to leave anybody behind. All right. And I know things happen. Sometimes I had a person miss an email I sent. They just didn't see it. And they wrote me on Twitter, like, for the love of God, I didn't know you were doing this. And now it's too late. And I'm like, it's not too late. Hit me up. We'll make something work. Okay. For you folks over here, all right. Thank you so much for allowing me to have an outlet to add positive um, messages and knowledge that hopefully has blessed your life in numerous ways, if not just in some small way. Uh, like I said, it's been a long year, but it's been a good year. It's been a lot of growing and getting stronger for me this year. And I want to thank you all for that. For those of you who may still be interested in me personally coaching you, that opportunity is still on the table. We still have some openings. We've had some people drop out. So the session's going to start January 21st, though. Okay, so I am probably at the end of this week going to wrap it up and close the program down to new joiners. And then we have no idea when session 3 is going to start, because I want to see how session 2 pans out, see how people who went through session 1 are starting to achieve success, so that we can make adjustments to the program. I don't want to just keep running them back to back to back without getting some feedback from folks who are paying to be there, so we can continue to improve it for those of you who get in. But that said, the program is effing awesome, so don't drag your feet. Definitely get on board if that's something you're interested in. Just saw somebody send me a friend request on Facebook. Don't do that. Go to BryantChambers page and get at me there, because my personal profile I just pretty much keep to family and close friends that I consider family, so I can keep those lives separate. So while I appreciate the friend requests, I typically don't respond to those. And by the way, I never go on my personal profile. I'm always on the BryantChambers page, fan page. So holler at that, okay? Happy New Year's, Bryant, says Sean. Good to see you again, Sean. Happy New Year's to you. Anna says, bro, Chambers, thank you. Much, much appreciation and Happy New Year. It's a pleasure, Anna. Thank you for being a part. Remember, family, we are stronger than I love you much, and I will definitely see you tomorrow. God bless.